Well, hello there, all of my beautiful Sagittarian souls. Welcome to my channel, Tarot Therapy Lab. My name is Lauren. I'm so grateful that you're here today. I'm really looking forward to doing your astro read for you. We're going to start out with your light worker read, and I'll probably do a more in-depth light worker update just for you Sagittarians. Of course, this is Sagittarius. Sun, moon, rising sign is really the strongest. It counts for Venus, especially if you have Sag in your Jupiter's ruling planet anywhere in your chart at all, or if there's someone that you know who has strong Sagittarius aspects in their chart. I do personally have a lot of Sagittarius in mine, so I feel like I connect with this energy really well. I also know quite a few Sagittarians, and I've had the pleasure of knowing them very well. So let's get started. Okay, Sag. So here is what the spread looks like. Again, as with most of or all the astrology spreads I've been doing recently, they can be found on the website for Emerald Lotus Divination. And you can see that this is a 6-card spread designed just for you guys, Sagittarius. And the first card will be the Lightworker Oracle deck, and we will go over the card that best describes you currently as a Lightworker. The second card will be from the Chakra Wisdom deck to describe your energy and how it's affecting those around you. The third card will be how to be more patient with others, and we will be pulling a card, looking at the cards from the Power of Surrender deck by Dr. Judith Orloff, MD. The fourth card will address something that is currently being avoided, something you're avoiding dealing with, or the Sagittarius, the querent here, whomever the Sagittarius in mind is. We will be using the Soul's Journey deck, with the Soul's Lessons cards, in order to elucidate that information, that message from Spirit. And the fifth card will be regarding how to deal or how to begin to deal with whatever it is that you're currently avoiding dealing with, or that's currently being avoided. And we will pull from the Archetype cards by Carolyn Miss, very famous intuitive healer. And for the final card in your spread, Sagittarius, today we will be using the Path of the Soul deck for our message from Spirit regarding a card to describe your next adventure, so your next soul adventure. This is going to be a really great read. I'm excited to get started. Let's close this out, go back here. Hello, hi. Okay, I'm going to pause and get us started. Okay, so to get us started, I've got the Lightworker Oracle cards here, and they've been chilling with some Celesti, which is great for angelic messages and communication. That's what this is too, a Celesti geode. Some tumbled kyanite, which is really great for transmutation of energy, for healing energy, very powerful stone. And then some ruby zoisite, also really great for communication flow and just information flow. And Sagittarius, that's you. You like to be in the flow and go with the flow and not be restricted. And you have a whole lot to communicate. And right now is a time when you're really wanting to communicate passionately. So let's see what the cards have to communicate with us today from Spirit. So the first card is the top of deck energy. And here is you. All right, my beautiful, beautiful Sagittarians and cross watchers. Card number 8, Star Child. I love, love, love the artwork in this deck. These messages are for the Lightworker community. Whoa, Paris, my cat's really close to my crystal quartz Tibetan prayer bowl. Okay. All right, I think we're safe. Okay, her name's Paris. So, while looking at this card, I'll go ahead and place it here. So, that will be the, focal card for the moment. Now, this card, what it says to me is that it's about inner child, whether it's inner child healing or your inner child just wanting to come out and play. It's a recognition of yourself as a divine creature, as a starseed, and the grand metaphysical quantum reality that as light workers, we are always growing in our understanding, but we are open to and have received that wisdom, that knowledge, that of the cosmic consciousness far greater than ourselves, which represents the highest self, and God as the creator of all things, as above, so below, right? So as a star child, there can be a bit of a feeling of like not belonging, but I think for Sagittarius that, while that might be there, what's an even stronger energy is the energy of wanting to let your inner child come out and play and not be held back by all the conventions around you. You just want to do what you want to do. And it's as simple as that. You want to have fun and you want to be able to use your imagination and explore things, right? So my notes on this card are just, it brings up a need for grounding as well, so that to have that sense of safety and security, because as a starseed, sometimes, being able to relate in that quantum consciousness, we can feel a little bit displaced here on Earth. So it's important to stay grounded and to understand that we're here for a reason, and that reason is because, we have tapped into our divine potential, and we're here to help the rest of humanity, the rest of creation, bring their vibration up. So while it's uncomfortable, we see a lot of the things that go on in the world, and what seems like negativity, violence, aggression, exploitation, all these things that are just really uncomfortable, right? It just doesn't make sense from the divine vantage point. And so it's this tension, of being pulled between adapting to society, because that enables you to, act freely, or so the connector is staying grounded in your soul's mission here on Earth as a divine being, even though you don't always feel at home, and sometimes it feels like you're compromising the most divine parts of yourself in order to be your true self. And while that it is paradoxical, it's just in the honoring your inner child, it's honoring the joy and that spark and that bright light inside that's always been with you. The things that we knew as children are sometimes far wiser than that which we have been taught as adults, right? So it's just deep down, you're part of something profoundly positive, meaningful, and spiritual just by your nature. So it's no wonder that when you allow yourself to connect with your divine purpose, that this world can seem far from home, but you're not alone. And this ties directly into the top of deck energy, the bottom of deck energy. This is top of deck, Star Child. And that's so cool. I mean, that's a cool looking person, the way they just are connected with, and right in front of their eyes is all this beautiful cosmic energy that's just pouring like waterfalls through her fingers. That's really amazing. So the bottom of deck energy, so you have inner child, and this can also talk to healing the inner child, which, everything that we talked about, that's rather than focusing on the wound, which it's important to acknowledge, but rather than saying, your inner child hurts and you're going through this, let's stay grounded in our joy and our purpose and not let fear win. And here we have the Dark Angel card as the bottom of deck energy, card number 30. So it breaks down to a 3. And the Dark Angel card is really just, the message from Spirit here is reminding you that Spirit is with you all the time. Okay, sometimes it might feel like we're, when we have experienced self-doubt, or we are, unexpectedly maybe affected by what feels like the judgments of others, or other, just recognizing that when we have self-doubt or worry or anxiety or anything like that, that happens from time to time. And now this is silent self-doubt, Sagittarius. This isn't something that you share with others, but it's something that's important for you to be aware of, because it affects your energy. And when your energy is affected, it affects the energy of everyone around you, because you are ruled by the planet Jupiter. You're this expansive, amazing, powerful, just buoyant, like you can just, your energy can be like a bull in a china shop, so it's important to be aware of your energy for that reason, because you want to harness that energy for the greatest good. And you've got, you and Aries have so much energy. I love it. That's why so many of my friends have been, Sagittarius and Aries. But at the same time, the dark angel. So sometimes, by your very nature, it's as if, like not feeling appreciated, or the self-doubt, or the negativity or toxicity that you might feel from other people who maybe they're just asking too much of you. And it always seems like they're asking so much of you whenever you just really don't have the time. What this is saying is that in those moments, those wounds are drawing your attention that they are wounds, and that's why those needs come up, or those doubts come up, because it's saying, hey, this is an area that right now it can be healed, because it's surfacing. So if you ground yourself in the divine, and that I'll read my notes, but ground yourself in the divine white light, and know that God is with you and loves you unconditionally, then you can approach these thoughts and these energies that feel toxic and draining, and you can approach them not as yourself, but as yourself through the eyes, the way God sees you. And once you do that, then you can invite all the doubts and the negativity to surface and respond to it as God would respond to you, with the unconditional love, and even more so with compassion. It's all about compassion right now, Sagittarius. And if to have compassion, okay, it's different. Compassion is a step up. You've got sympathy, that's where it starts. Then empathy and compassion, right? So it's not just, so sympathy is like, I acknowledge your pain. I acknowledge your suffering. I can't imagine what it would be like. And then you have empathy, which is, I'm here with you. I can feel your pain as you feel your pain. I know what it feels like, and I'm feeling it with you. When I'm around you, I feel as you feel. I feel exactly what you feel when you feel it. Now, compassion has an added level of, strength, so sort of advanced light worker level stuff. And what compassion really is that I see your pain, I feel your pain, and I'm not so much with you, I feel it with you. So suffering together, however, I am doing so with the intention, the deliberate intention of helping lighten your burden. I can take on some of that. And then, but coming from being grounded and the infinite wisdom and your individual knowledge that an experience of complete and unconditional divine love, you respond from there. It's not you. You don't have to carry the burden. But when you invite God in and respond from a place of unconditional love, that only God, only the source, only our almighty creator, that's the only place, only avenue, only channel of actual unconditional love. So if you are connected to that energy, to the divine energy, then it's not your burden anymore. And whatever pain and suffering there is that you're showing compassion towards, whether it's yourself or with others, it might feel like the end of the world, but to God and our Creator, I mean, boop, boop, okay, like it's just automatically turned into the divine purpose is illuminated for that exact feeling, and it's no longer a bad feeling anymore. It's healed immediately. So while you might feel, and you have the dark angel, you're still an angel, and those dark feelings and those bad experiences, that is where compassion comes from. If you don't feel it yourself, you can't have compassion for another. If you don't train yourself how to have self-compassion, you will really struggle and feel exhausted and drained whenever it's called for you as a part of your divine purpose, which it is called of you to do, to show compassion for others. So there you go. Those are the 2 cards of the surrounding energy. Now we'll shuffle the deck. And I'll take a look at the energy now. Top of deck is Unplugged from Mass Consciousness 7. Bottom of deck now is 25, Merkaba, Spiritual Protection. Okay, so let's ask Spirit. What is the message? What best describes, well, that almost came out. Makes me curious. Okay, what best describes Sagittarius's? Best describes Sagittarius right now. Oh, wow. Okay, here we go. So the card that best describes you right now, Sagittarius, is the wisdom of the divine feminine. Whether you are, female in your, physical self, whether you're born a female or not, it doesn't matter. You are connecting with the divine feminine energy, which the wisdom of the divine feminine, and just pointing out this is card number 9, it's all about intuition. Do you see the flowers and the bright light, the bright golden light surrounding her as she touches her heart? So that's intuition. That is the wisdom of knowing the unknown, so to speak, of sensing beyond what can be seen. And the flowers being the fertile, natural, organic, earthy sensibility, and the illumination of the bright light and the stars behind her while touching her heart. So that is, that's very fertile, a very fertile mind, very receptive, having been nurtured, the heart-mind connection. That is precisely what intuition is. That's where it comes from. That's how we tap into the collective consciousness and how we can infuse it with this divine energy. And right now, it's divine feminine energy that that Sagittarius, that we and that you guys are. That's the card that best describes you. That's where you are right now. That's the energy, the message from Spirit of how to where you want to aim, where you want to focus, what you want to anchor yourself, where you want to anchor yourself, so that all of this other energy can be aligned, synchronized, and have, be engineered to be the most efficient, productive, useful, and free-flowing divine energy surrounding you right now in your thoughts, words, actions, etc. Okay, so now we will go to the next card. I'm going to pause and get those cards out. Oh, I thought I paused, so I just like, anyway, I'll edit that. All right. Okay, so here we have the Chakra Wisdom deck. Have some beautiful Amartine that's been chilling, vibing with those cards, as well as some Mas Agate, some very grounded energy for you there. So as they are, the top of deck energy is grief. Now, these cards are speaking to how your energy is affecting those around you. A little bit closer for you. Grief. So the top of deck energy is kind of what I was talking about just before. The message coming through is that other people may be experiencing grief in one way or another. And grief is a sense of loss. That's by definition, right? So that's the energy. That's what I think other people are wanting you to help them with. And I think that the people that are coming to you asking for help with different issues related to grief, unresolved grief, it could be from something that's happened recently or any time, really. They're coming to you because there's some grief. They're like attracts like, the law of attraction. So there's some grief that you might be experiencing, and that might be part of, whether it's inner child, a dark angel, adding up to, and then the divine feminine. It could have to do with your, and typically masculine energy. It could have to do with a love relationship. Now, bottom of deck energy is the abundance card. And grief, if you notice, had a green border, so that's heart chakra, okay, which makes sense with grief in that experience. But grief is our greatest teacher, and that's the greatest lessons that we learn in this life, come from actually doing the work to learn the lesson, to deal with losses and adapt and grow. It actually can be a great opportunity. Now, abundance here, if you see, there's one girl, a young girl, that behind her is, a dream of a home of her own. And there's this treasure chest below, and she is being clever and using a string to try and connect to her abundance. While over here, there's a man who's somewhat in despair, confused, sort of befuddled, and you can see that in the background there, there's what looks like a beer bottle or something like that, and so it's the choices. This card is saying that the choices we make is what determines our abundance. The abundance of our internal energy is what determines the outcome when it comes to our material abundance. So, where are you? If the energy of those around you is being triggered by your unresolved grief or what you're working through, I feel like you're working on it right now. Like you're aware of it and you're working on it. And as you're doing that, other people are coming to you, and maybe you're all helping each other. And if you can appreciate that's the shared experience for what it is, and trust in the abundance on the other end. Once you've grown through this, then you can be the young lady here with the string who's this close to getting what is intended for her. Spirit, how is Sagittarius energy affecting those around them? Please give us the message, the best card to describe how Sagittarius energy is affecting those around them. How is Sagittarius energy affecting those around them? Okay. And this one went straight. Okay, sorry too. Oh, wow. All right, so we got two cards. This one came out first. How is your energy affecting those around you? Quest. So when you're on a quest, reverse that. Then it's a quest on, right? So I feel like you're in a place of working through your grief, and it's affecting the energy of those around you because there's communication going on. See the blue border here? That is throat chakra. So it's as you are working through things, other people are beginning to ask the same questions and work through their own on their own path. And so part of this too is looking at things from a new perspective. So the way this card is described, there's a woman standing here, and she's like, I'm the spiritual leader of this community, and I know all the answers. I've been, in recluse. I've been in respite for a long time. So tell me, young child, what can I help you with? And he's saying, no, the path has changed. It's not what it was. It's not the same as it was before you withdrew to into hermit mode to go, because that was where you were on your spiritual path at that time, for this woman who was the sage for the community. And here the young boy is saying, no, this is the new path. This is the new path. This is the new way of looking at things. This is the new way of doing things. So that's the quest. It's and again, speaking to the inner child and the dark angel. So, well, if you were to try and follow the path as it was when as it was for your ancestors, well, it's different now. So look at it with fresh eyes of your inner child being allowed to have full expression. Remember that joy, and let that joy be what determines the path forward at this point in time. Now, recovery was the other card that came out. So the key to recovery here is spirit. And while you may think you have the key already on your own, the message I'm getting is that it's really about surrendering yourself so that you are not healing yourself. The divine is healing. The divine energy flowing through you is where the healing happens. So with all of these questions and communication, and this is crown chakra energy, make sure that as you're on your quest, that it's not just Sagittarius. You are very idealistic and philosophically oriented, which is all mental. Make sure that you are surrendering some of your thought patterns or limiting beliefs to the divine so that you can recover, and that this quest, this path of recovery from whatever, it could be something very simple, but so that you can be you and be in your fullest potential, and be in balance at the same time with the world around you and your environment. Okay, so the next question, the next card is going to be from the Power of Surrender deck. Now this is a palm stone of rainbow fluorite, which is great for studying and focus and memory learning. So processing information, and focusing is about why I chose that for this, to put them on this deck, is deciding what to pay attention to is just as much about deciding where to focus as it is where not to focus, right? So what to let go. And here's some preonite to further amp up that energy. Okay, so bottom of deck. But we'll do top of deck first. Okay, so starting out, top of deck energy is surrender your ego. Okay, so usually any sense of loss or grief or struggle, especially related to inner child matters, but might be inhibiting our joy or limited beliefs, is our ego. Attachments to things outside of ourselves. That's ego. Outside of the divine. That's ego. That's seeking identity externally rather than being aligned with true self. When you're aligned with true self, you have healthy ego. It's balanced and grounded like concrete. The message here says, cultivate gratitude gratitude is a great way to open up your crown chakra. Be of service to others and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. There you go. I'll put that here just so you can look at it while I read to you the bottom deck, or show you the bottom of deck energy for this one is surrender your need to always be right. So again, on your quest, your inner child wants to come out and experience joy again. And if you need to always be right, assuming that you're not a child, because this video is marked not, made for children, so you're 18 or over, you develop certain ways of dealing with the world, and letting go of your ego also means letting go of the need for things to be now as they've been before, and to let your inner child come back out. And your inner child is curious, childlike wonder of like, oh my gosh, everything's so awesome, everything's so cool, look at my Legos, woohoo! Like, that's the inner child. How many cartwheels can I do in a row without getting, without throwing up? Like, okay, maybe that was just my childhood, but the message of this card, surrender your need to always be right. Give others the gift of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. Ask questions. Entertain other people's realities rather than just, staying in your own. And nope, that's not what I think. That's not what I believe. And if you have this openness, and it might mean surrendering a little bit of your ego to have this openness, you're not letting yourself go. You're just entertaining or considering someone else's reality. That doesn't mean that yours has to change, but you're coming at it from an approach that's more childlike, with more childlike wonder. Okay. This will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. So, relationships with those around us often are reflections of how we learn to relate early on, again, with the inner child. How our primary caregivers taught us to relate to the world and to others. So, whatever that means to you, just go with it. Let's go. Oh, and underneath that, just pointing out, we've got surrender to complete healing. And on top, underneath that was surrender to trust. Okay, Spirit. How can Sagittarius be more patient with others? How can the Sagittarian energy today, what is the message for how to be that started? How can be more patient to others? All right. So this one's the trust card. Started to come out, but I have a rule where I like face up. Show your face. And we will listen. Okay. So the first card that came out here this is the message from Spirit. This is not the surrounding energy anymore. This is the message from Spirit. Surrender to complete healing. And it says here, open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. That is right in line with everything we've been talking about. Isn't that a beautiful? I would love to walk towards that horizon. Let me just put these in here. Okay, and what also came out is once you surrender to full, complete healing, surrender to your full power. That can be a scary thing to do sometimes. It's not so much that the dark sides of ourselves are scary. Often that's where we're a little bit more comfortable. We keep it secret, but that's where we're a little more comfortable. And that's what the world often is conducive to. But when you surrender to your full power, the message here is your life is calling you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. Okay, Sag? So what this is saying is, by surrendering to the divine, let your inner child heal and integrate let that joy reemerge. And Sagittarius, this is so you. Joy is a huge part of your power for compassion and love and healing and all of those things. Even, being a divine teacher, being a great friend, lover, brother, husband, whatever the case may be. I don't know why I just named all these. Most of the Sages that I know are males, so I think that's why I just named up all these male roles. So, but it's energy. It's masculine, feminine energy is what really is being spoken to. Surrender to complete healing so that you may step into your full power. Okay? The world needs you, and to be in your full power so that you can serve your divine purpose, because we're all working together here. And your light working team is needing this from you right now. And I know, like, everybody needs so much, but I'm just asking you to be you, okay? Asking you to give yourself the same freedom to love being yourself and to just be yourself, so that we can enjoy you with you, right? And that we can have fun on this journey together, right? It can be fun. So let's focus on that. I'm going to pause and rearrange things so we can get the next 3 cards out where you can see them. Be right back. Okay, are you ready? Because we're going to look at the Soul's Journey deck here now to see what messages come forward regarding what you might be avoiding dealing with right now, or what the Sagittarius that in question, if you're cross-watching, what they're avoiding right now. So have chevron amethyst, chillin', some clear quartz so that the messages may be claro, and a lapis lazuli palm stone with the flower of life there to support communication. Now, top of deck, something you're avoiding dealing with. Purpose. I know what I'm here to do. So, why is that? On bottom of deck energy is balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So, what that energy, the surrounding energy, starting out with here, is showing is that don't judge your purpose, okay? Maybe if you're avoiding something, it's because you're judging it. So you can change your perception. When you get into that place of balance, surrender to complete healing, surrender to full power on your spiritual quest, and, the key to recovery of, the deeper parts of ourselves that we don't really talk about very, as much or as openly. To find balance in order so that you're no longer avoiding your purpose, right? To just let the light in so that the light can shine through you. And yeah. So, Spirit, give us a message of something that Sagittarius is avoiding dealing with right now. Sagittarian energy. What is Sagittarian energy avoiding dealing with right now that needs their attention? Okay, 3 cards came out. 1 fell on the floor face down. Ooh, and yeah, so that makes sense. We'll start here. So, what are you avoiding dealing with right now? All right, well, we had purpose and balance, and the cards that came out are imagination and success. Can you imagine being successful? Can you can you imagine success in a different way? That maybe your purpose is not what it has been before. Maybe you've already achieved and mastered a certain level of your purpose, and now that's comfortable to you, and moving forward, you have to recalibrate and find balance from, like, as you're growing, you pivot, your equilibrium pivots, and you have to use your imagination now, be creative, and do so in a way. You have to find balance to be comfortable being creative and using your imagination. So it says, imagination, I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Really pretty light purple there. And so, and avoiding success, because success may mean change. It may mean growth. It may mean learning new things. And that might be scary, especially if you're still working on surrendering to complete healing. Once you've done that and then you surrender to your full power, that's success. So notice that the colors here of these cards match the colors here, like spot on. So to surrender to complete healing, open up, allow yourself to be creative like a child would be again, to have that joy and that spark, that freedom to be creative. Allow that for yourself, and then success will come. And here it says, I know that there is no greater goal than love. Okay, so that goes right in line with what we've been talking about. So if you're avoiding success, and this could be business, relationships, family life, any aspect of life really, avoiding it is a really common limiting belief. There's tons of common limiting beliefs, but a big one is the fear of failure, which goes hand in hand with fear of success. And a lot of people maybe think they don't deserve it, or this is good enough. But if you're divinely called for something, you've got a few steps left. You're just going more successes, and that's exciting, right? More successes. With more success, it might feel like more responsibility, but you're absolutely capable of it. And first you have to imagine it and envision it, and step into it now, in the here and now, so that it can manifest as God has intended for you, because it's all a part of His plan, all a part of God's plan, right? Okay. Oh, and the card that came out face down was surrender, and it was upside down. So that's definitely sending a strong message, and that is that gotta let go. You have to surrender the old to make way and room for the new, or find a creative use of function in your healing and on your journey. Do something creative with what no longer serves you, or just let it go completely. But the message here is, I can release my need to control. So that's a very apropos message, sitting here next to imagination and success, right? Okay. Now, so it's been pointed out, message received of what's being avoided right now, which you have you have all the power in the world that you need, and then some, in order to take care of it. So here's some howlite, some clear quartz, and some ruby zoisite. For the next card, we're going to pull from the archetype deck, and this is going to shed some light on how to begin to deal with what it is you've been avoiding. So I'm going to take a quick look. Okay, so interesting. Top of deck energy is the archetype of the slave. Okay, sometimes we become a slave to our own comfort, our own habits, our own routines, and that's a sign that it's time to step into our power and to level up. So the light attribute, it says, surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. So that's good. We want that. And here, that reinforces the surrender card here. It reinforces the messages that came through with the previous 3 cards as well. Now the shadow attribute, it says, giving your willpower to an external authority, the powers that be, so to speak, out of fear of making your own choices, of trying something new, of doing something differently. Here's that card again. Okay, now the bottom of deck energy, the implicit or unexpressed, how is, that the case? What's underneath that? Well, it's the goddess card is what's there. And we have divine feminine for the Lightworker oracle card that Spirit presented for us today as well. The light attributes of the goddess is that the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Okay, so how to begin dealing with things? Well, you're going to be a slave to the divine. Do not give your authority away to anything else. The only real authority is the unconditional love of the divine. That's the source of all creation and ascension and transcendence. Now, the shadow attribute of the goddess is exploitation of the female nature and form. So beneath this, exploitation as the bottom of deck energy, and the top of deck energy as slave. So I'm getting a sense that it's about taking responsibility and accountability for doing things differently and a more enlightened fashion. You have to, now that you have tapped into your higher self a little bit, you've tapped into your higher power a little bit, you now need to surrender and change the way you look at success and change the way you operate to be in alignment. So this is saying to take a look at what you have been enslaved by, thought patterns, limiting beliefs, cultural things, whatever it is that's separate from the divine, and to make sure that you are, honoring everything appropriately and not exploiting the existing structures in order for your own benefit and for the perception of being successful, or the power that you currently have is not your full power until it's divinely aligned, which is divine alignment is very much all about, especially during this time here that we're living in, of balancing the masculine and feminine energies. Okay, I'm going to shuffle these. Okay. There's so many that can be a little bit trickier to get just right. Okay. Spirit, what is the message? These cards, I don't always use these because they're a little tricky. Oh. How to start dealing with it. Okay. All right. It is what it is. It's the message. There's light and love in all things. Okay. So the first card that came out is Scribe. This is Spirit's message of how to start, how to begin to deal with the change that you've been avoiding, with getting into alignment. And to me, the first thing I think of is journaling, writing things down, writing it out, putting it on paper. It's a very, very healthy way to help clarify things. So it says the light attribute for Scribe is preserving knowledge and information, which is great, to know how it's been done. And that way you can clearly see how maybe you can do things differently to be more in alignment. The shadow attribute here is altering facts or plagiarizing others' work. So with Goddess and Slave, Do the math. Make sure that we're not, if you're in the feminine energy, that you're not exploiting or allowing your feminine energy to be exploited, that you're not giving too much, that there is balance, and that you are aligned with your purpose to achieve true success in a creative endeavor, imagining from a standpoint of surrender. And this is all about being honest with yourself and being honest with others, and writing it down so that you're accountable. I'm even getting messages of, checking your accounting, making sure that, you're reconciled all of your balances ledgers. It is tax season. So there's that. Now there's 3 cards that came out. The next one is the Gambler. Okay. So there's a risk involved here for sure. When how to start dealing with it is to start writing. And the supporting energy is, the light attribute says a willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. Okay, Sagittarius, that's a really important message for you today. I was looking at your astrology right now. This is a very important message for you today. Do you see how he's blindfolded, kind of tiptoeing as if he's not exactly sure where the ground is? So he's taking a risk, gambling as he moves forward. So willingness to follow your intuition, again, surrendering to the divine feminine, even when others doubt you. So the surrounding environment may not be supportive of the changes that you're making. But Sagittarius, you are so powerful and have so much energy, they will adapt. They will adapt. You will become a leader because at first, all great ideas initially face great opposition. Just ask Albert Einstein. I think he said that. The shadow attribute of the Gambler is relying on luck rather than hard work. So luck, this to me is talking about in the current structures that we live in societally. If things are just working out and you've had success, and make sure that it's not based on exploitation of the systems in place, and it's not just luck, right? To be creative and to be aligned with your purpose, you have to work to change things and come from a place of full power so that the environment then begins to adapt to you. Now, the last card that came out, the third card that came out, it was face down. And I think that something that you're avoiding dealing with, part of it, there may be some shame there at the root. So how to begin dealing with it is to face any shame you may be feeling, any guilt that just resonates a little. It feels normal or natural. You think it's a part of you. That's what shame is. Guilt is like, oh, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Shame is, oh, well, that was bad, so I'm bad. The third card is the prostitute. Okay, and this card falls right in line with the messages from all of the other cards so far, right? The light attribute accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. So you can have all of the success and any and every realm of your life once you surrender to spirit. So it's all about accentuating the challenge of surviving and having success and being in your full power, your quest for recovery and thriving, without negotiating the power of your spirit, of your intuition, of the balanced divine feminine and divine masculine aspects of yourself, to not allow for exploitation of either. The shadow attribute, places material consideration and security above self-empowerment. You are worth more than your worth. Your soul is worth so much more than whatever liquidatable assets you might have. That's that message. So that's how to begin dealing with what's in front of you, which is just getting to that success that you know you're destined for. And this is where to begin. And you don't have to. Shame is scary, and really, you don't want to share those things with. It's a risk sharing those roots, and that's a big part of the spiritual journey, is facing that stuff and approaching it with self-compassion. We have to learn self-compassion first before we can truly show compassion for others. We have to have self-love first before we can truly receive love from another in our life. We can receive it from God, and that's how we learn what it is and learn how to recognize it and nurture it within ourselves. And then that's how we have a baseline that enables us to recognize whenever someone else is loving us truly, because if they're not, then it feels different. Something's changed, and we know we live in a state of love. So if anything comes into our life and our state shifts in a way that we're uncomfortable with in that sense, then we know it's not for us. And we know it's time to exercise that self-compassion. Now, money and the need to survive is very real, okay? Don't let the shame of the things that you have done to survive, don't let that trick you into believing that you're not good enough, or trick you into believing that you are the dark angel, that you've lost favor in God's eyes, because God sent his only son. Jesus came as the living incarnate of the Almighty Creator just to get that message to us, just to make sure that humanity was infused with that compassion, with God's purpose for humanity. It's to learn those exact lessons of accepting grace and understanding that we are meant to be loved because of our sin. Because that's how we learn, that's how we connect, that's how we transcend. And God never stops loving us. Sometimes we allow ourselves to separate. And that's the root there, is do not be ashamed of the things you did to survive. It's through your connection with God that you will heal and that you will find that true love within yourself again. So write it out. You don't have to share it with other people, because other people are going through their own lessons and their own things, and there can be trauma bonding. You want to bond and connect with Christ consciousness. And that is how you get to where you need to be. And it might feel like a risk, but this is how you start. Okay? Whew. Amen. All right. Well, we've got one more. I'm going to rearrange some things so we can have some space. I'll edit it if I need to, I guess, rather than pausing all the time. Okay. Next is the card for... Oh yeah, if you're still here with me, if you're enjoying this video, I'm so grateful, because these messages are like, they're impactful, they're meaningful, they're, and it means the world to me. This is a part of my purpose, is to share some of the messages from the divine that I've learned by going through all of the stuff myself. A couple times before the message really landed, maybe, but here I am, and my purpose is to share that with as many people as possible. So I'm really, really grateful that you're here, because you're helping me fulfill my divine purpose, and I'm my prayer, and I feel like what my purpose is to help others connect with their purpose as well. So the next card coming out. With that said, don't forget to click like, click subscribe, make sure that notification button's on so you get an update or you're notified whenever a new video comes out. And if you're in a place to where you feel drawn to or compelled to participate in the compassionate contribution philosophy that I have, there is a link in the description box below if you would like to donate. That is how I'm able to put these videos out. So the next card, I'm trying to go quickly here. The next card will be from the Path of the Soul deck by Harmonious. These are really cool fractal images. And we've got some hematite here for protection. This card will be talking about the next new adventure. Now that we've identified all of this stuff, let's get to the adventure. Some citrine to fuel that adventure with abundance and positive energy, and then some amber here. So that's about manifestation. So let's manifest your next adventure. Woohoo! Yay, my inner child's having fun now. Adventure time. Okay, bottom of deck energy. I'm going to pause because this one I don't have memorized, so I need to have the book out. Okay, so this is beautiful. Okay, I looked up the bottom of deck energy first, so we'll just go with it. Here is the beautiful fractal image. All the colors, so colorful. It's fun. This is a fun one. And with everything we've been talking about, it makes sense because this card is the joyous card, right? That's what it's all about. Just choosing joy and embracing joy and like really tapping into joy on a deep level to where it becomes a part of who you are, not after you make the choice so many times, it becomes a part of who you are. It's a habit, and then it becomes how you identify, right? So the colors of pink and green signify the opening of, okay, there we go. The colors of pink and green signify the opening of the heart chakra to deeper and more profound joy. Embrace this shift occurring within you. Oh, this is beautiful. Do you see how it all lines up? As you do, allow for that childlike wonder and amazement to fill every part of your being. Look, I can't, like, it's all talking about inner child stuff and healing and everything. Like, it's all lining up. Like, you can't orchestrate this. Or if you can, I don't know how. My mind did kind of go like, can you? What would that be? How would you do that? But anyway, moving on. So, embrace the shift occurring within you, and as you do, allow for that childlike wonder and amazement to fill every part of your being. I told you, your inner child just wants to come out and have fun and play and to help you reconnect to that joy. Like, being an adult is hard. Being a human is hard. Let that inner joy come back out. That's what the message is overall. You deserve to feel this bliss and happiness, Sagittarius. You have done the work. You have made the effort. Now it is time to simply enjoy. To enjoy all that life has to offer. All of the success. Okay. And top of deck. Card number 26. Ooh, that looks like a really strong third eye orb energy. Oh, I really like this one. Okay, 26. I'll put it here while I'm reading. Okay. No wonder it looks like really strong third eye energy because this card is the third eye card. It says, the third eye rules, and this is the top of deck energy. So, the new adventure is like after everything we've been through in this journey just within this video, the underlying energy is you tapped back into your joy, like your true, deep, profound joy. And the top of deck is that opens up your third eye, which is the intuitive wisdom of the divine feminine, right? That's the next level success for you, Saggies. So third eye rules psychic abilities and clairvoyance. See, that's how I know. 3 eyes are better than 2. Okay. Although every human is born with the ability to see beyond the known, like when we're children, right? It does not mean they always access it. Your intuitive gifts and abilities are very strong. Yay, Sagittarius, that's so exciting. When this card appears, it is because you are ready to move to the next level in the development of your inner seeing. That's perfect. That's your next adventure. Yay! Okay. Intuitive development is important for your growth at this time. Expanding your gifts, right? Because Jupiter rules Sag. Expand, expand, expand. Expanding your gifts not only benefits you, but also aids those who need the guidance and support you can provide from Source. All right, so that right there, I'm still going to pull a card intuitively, but that sums up the message I've been feeling for this whole video the whole time. Like, boom. Drop the webcam, Mike. Okay. What's the message from Spirit regarding Sagittarius and this journey of joy and third eye adventures? What is the message, Spirit? What is? Okay, there it is. Ah, that one flew out. So maybe the next adventure could involve some travel, via airplane. Ooh. The new adventure, card number 1, which is definitely indicating something new. Look at those fun colors. Again, really colorful cards. Really strong energy. Lots of yellow, lots of red. So this is a passionate energy coming from a place of really strong personal power. Yeah. Surrender to your full power, Sag. What? Okay. Now, what does it mean? What is it saying? I haven't memorized it yet, but card number 1, that should be easy to find, right? Oh, there's a hair there. Card number 1. Imagine success, surrender to create something new, right? To create a new project, a new way of doing things. I feel really strongly this is talking about business and the way you relate to business as a reflection of the way you relate to others. Breaking relationship patterns helps open up new doors for you in your professional life, and your financial life even. But that'll be an after effect of whatever it is that you create now, that comes from that source, that's inner happiness and joy, your true self. So card number 1, creation. You are a creator, Sagittarius. Hip hop, hooray! When this card appears, it signifies a strengthening in your energetic field. Yeah, we've done a lot of work. Just in this video, we've done a lot of work. So I know that you've been doing a whole lot of work, outside of just this video, right? You've been working your butt off, Sag. That's just who you are, and you've been focusing your energy and your work on getting to your soul. And that's a beautiful thing. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just feel so awesome right now, just connecting with this energy. Okay, Sag. So when this card appears, it signifies a strengthening in your energetic field to bring those things which you require into physical manifestation. See, I have the manifesting amber on there too. That's so cool. Creation is happening quickly from thought into form. Be conscious of what thoughts you are having. The time between the thought and its appearance in the physical will be quick. That works for you, Sag, right? I know it does. That's what you're used to. That's just your energy anyway. Okay, now is the time to get clear about what you desire in your life. The universal energies are working with you to bring your desires to fruition. So there you go. There you go. Tap into your joy so that you can, through your third eye, you can connect to your truth and your alignment. You can have a clear vision of what success looks like to you moving forward, and that you can come to that position with your full power, having surrendered to complete healing. Now, you don't have to be completely healed, but it's a matter of the more healed you are, the more you are in your full power, the closer you are to being in your full power. And here's what, is something that maybe you've been avoiding consciously or unconsciously. Here are some of the tools and the things that have been brought to light of how you can begin to deal with these things. And the takeaway message is that you are in the midst, you're already in process, it's already in motion, that you're creating something new and something amazing and something true to you, something more true to you than anything else you've ever done, anything else you've ever been a part of. So that is amazing energy, Sagittarius. I'm so, so, so excited for you. From my heart to yours, I hope you enjoyed the message. Again, remember to click like or click subscribe if you enjoyed. And until next time, be well, stay blessed. You're amazing. You're more loved than you know, and you're so much stronger, braver, kinder, more compassionate, loving, and beautiful than you think. Remember that. Bye for now.